all the time, but it's more than just political capital. There are lots of other things that happen. Public popularity is a different reason why things happen in Congress. Different lobby groups are different reasons why things happen in Congress. Different senators, different Congress people, all of those things are different reasons why things happen other than political capital. So try to find more nuance in your politics stories, and having this historical and contextual knowledge and being up to date on current events will allow you to do that. Get specific. This is super important, right? If you just say that space policy in general is popular or unpopular, you're not going to get very far, right? You're not going to find much nuance. You're not going to use your historical contextual knowledge. You need to have specific arguments about the specific things that your app does or the other team's app does in terms of politics to be able to debate the politics it's at. So for instance, we talked about asteroid deflection in terms of its relevance to political capital, right? If the app can win that there's an asteroid coming, right, it might make it more popular to try to detect and deflect asteroids, yes? But that wouldn't have much relation, if that was the case, to just general space exploration, yes? So being more specific will be helpful. My final piece of advice is to use these budget battles both on the app and the neg. Use the budget battle on both the app and the neg to argue about politics. On the neg, you're going to use the budget battle as a link, right? We've gone over this for a while now, right? This has been pretty much my whole lecture, right? On the app, though, I think you can make a tricky uniqueness argument. A tricky uniqueness argument with budget battles. I think you can say that the budget is already so messed up, right? The plan really isn't that big in consideration of all of this. You can't make the budget battle any worse right now, right? Obama literally will not sit down with them to eat lunch. What, are they going to get more angry? It's a uniqueness question, right? So use the budget battle on both sides, right? This is something that's broader and bigger, much more important actually probably than the plan to all of these senators. It'd be kind of like, oh, whatever, NASA. We have to deal with Medicare, which is an actual important thing, right? Well, space is also super important. It's the first priority to get off the rock, right? Not to Mitch McConnell. All right. Okay, I got maybe a couple minutes for some questions. I've kind of rambled for a while. Any questions based on the lecture or other things? Yeah?
How are you supposed to use the budget battle on the app?
Yeah, use it as a uniqueness argument. There's no way you can make the budget battle work, right? The budget battle is already like level 10, mega plus budget battle, right? So the app really doesn't interact with that. You know, they're both too concerned about the budget battle for the app to really be relevant to it. And there's lots of other things that would be relevant, more relevant. And you can't give them more math, right? There's a level at which they just, it's all kind of like part of the yelling, right? Which is already super high. Right. It's a uniqueness argument, right? It's already so unique that it'd be hard to make it worse, right? Yeah. Oh, same question or?
I was just wondering, like, if the neg can win that, like, they have supported Obama's political capital is enough now, wouldn't the budget only, like, further piss the Republicans off?
Can the neg win that? That is a debate. It is a tough one. And you've raised a very good issue, right? Because of all of this other stuff that's going on, can Obama really get anything done? Like, SCIFTA? Yeah. That is a very good app argument. It's hard for the neg to win that. I mean, and this is going to be the question all year, right? On politics. We kind of often imagine that we have this like collective imagination that things will actually happen in Congress. And I guess they kind of do sometimes, but a lot of times they don't, you know? How long have we been debating SCIFTA? Oh, it's definitely going to happen in July. All spring we said that, right? Is it going to happen in July? Oh, no. Oh, no. Right? But we forget, like, a couple months ago, we were like, definitely happening in July, right? Okay.
Because that's what the evidence says. Doesn't matter if it's
All right,
actually
well,
gonna
okay,
happen
but
or not.
evidence is one thing, and being cognizant of the, like, oh, okay. What's your name?
Cole.
Cole has demonstrated something super important. Politics evidence is written to make you think things. It is also an argument in and of itself, right? It's a plaint, right? People say that SCIFTA will pass because they want SCIFTA to pass, right? And they want other people to think that it'll pass, so they might as well support it, right? And that's kind of the way to think about it, right? People said it'll pass in July because they wanted it to pass in July.
Right, but my argument is like, as a judge, are you persuaded like, okay, the Negrite is like winning the uniqueness debate, and then the app's like, well, they said it was going to pass like last month and it didn't pass. Like, is that persuasive?
I think it would have to be better than that. I think it would have to be a better argument than.
But
right?
why? But
But-
like, would you evaluate that over like carded evidence saying that it's going to pass?
It depends on how good their evidence was. I mean, what's the warrant in the evidence? What's the warrant in the argument the other team's making? Right? I think that all of this doesn't have to rely on evidence, right? Evidence is really good sometimes to make claims that you yourself cannot make. But if you can make that claim, you don't need evidence to support that, right? Like, you yourself have seen cards about SCIFTA for a while now. They have continually not come true. So you need to think about that, right? All right, well, there's no more questions. I'm going to turn it over to Tracy. Is that fine?
Yeah, why don't you all take a 10-minute break
Yeah.
and then we'll...
All right.